Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Magesh Srinivasan. Today I'm going to be sharing my views on how to be successful in life. Based on my own life's journey, I want to share with you what are those key insights and what are those keys to success which one must know in order to succeed. So, let's begin. The fundamental question in everybody's mind today is how to be successful. Despite all the turbulence we have in the world outside because of the pandemic, how do we succeed? How do we thrive in this world of uncertainty, volatility, complexity, and ambiguity? Of course, it's a very cliched saying, change is the only thing constant. But how do you deal with change? These are important questions, and knowing the answers to these questions and knowing how to apply oneself in any given situation using wisdom is important for us to succeed. So, one of the earliest things that I started to ask myself, even as a child, is what is the purpose of my life? This is a very simple but powerful question which each of us must reflect on. What is the purpose of our life? So, after reflecting on this for some time, I came to understand that the key purpose of our existence is self-realization. It means it is our journey in this life to learn about ourselves and the universe in which we live in. It is for us to find meaning in a unique pathway of life that is open to each one of us and accessible to each one of us. The knowledge is universal, the learning is universal, the insights are timeless. And if one begins to reflect on the question of who am I and what is my path to self-realization, one would begin to see things differently, more clearly, and life will start to take on a new meaning, a meaning that is fulfilling, a meaning that is peaceful, a meaning that is truthful and honest to oneself. And when you begin to feel that in the path of life, it helps you to help others, it helps you to continue on the path, and it also helps you to keep learning for life. Not because somebody is going to externally certify your knowledge, not because someone else is going to acknowledge and appreciate your knowledge, because you want to learn for quenching the thirst of your knowledge, and by quenching the thirst of your knowledge, you also want to share that with other beings in your path of life. So that to me is broadly the main purpose of our human experience, of having been born into this world that we call as planet Earth. So, let's now look at what could be our first step. So, Swami Vivekananda famously said, conquer yourself, and the whole world is yours. Now, why did he say that? Why did Swami Vivekananda say these words? Why did he make this statement? This is something that we have to reflect on. This is something that we have to seek. And this is something that we have to know through our own experience. So this is one key to the path of success. And the other is something that I recently read in Robert Greene's book on the laws of human nature. So Robert Greene says the first step toward becoming rational is to understand our fundamental irrationality. Let me repeat. The first step towards becoming rational is to understand our fundamental irrationality. So this again is a very powerful and loaded insight about human nature. Even though we may have accumulated years of knowledge and experience and accomplishments, it only takes one moment of irrationality for us to let ourselves down. And why does that happen? So many times in the world, you would have seen that great people who have achieved great things yet falter because of one or two mistakes. They become suddenly irrational. The intelligence seems to be completely abandoned at that time. Why does this happen? We should watch out for these kind of irrational behaviors within ourselves. And that is also something that we have to keep in mind. Now, coming back to Swami Vivekananda's quote, "Conquer yourself and the whole world is yours." So, there are three important things that we need to keep in mind when we want to understand ourselves, when we want to set on our path of conquering ourselves. And those three important dimensions of a human experience are: number one, greed; number two, hatred; and number three, delusion. So, whenever we act with greed being the main driver of our action, the chances of success are extremely minimal. Even if you succeed by chance in the beginning, you are bound to fail in the long run, and you are bound to cause a lot of damage to yourself and to those around you, and even to the world at large. And there are so many leaders who have acted out of greed and created a whole lot of mess for everyone. All throughout history, you can study. So we need to be aware of the greed within ourselves. The second aspect of human nature is hatred. It's our ability to innately dislike, not love, and become negative towards people, situations, ideas which are not agreeable with ourselves, which are not in accordance with our beliefs and values. And the moment we start to sense that we are acting out of hatred, we must hold ourselves. We must think, is this action based out of a sense of hatred of some kind, which I am now aware? And in case you're not aware, this is definitely going to lead to a lot of misery and suffering for yourself as well as for people in the world. And this again is the cause for a whole host of misery and suffering that we see all around us. And the third aspect of human nature is delusion. What is delusion? Delusion is the story that we tell ourselves about the way we perceive the world. It's the stories that run inside our head constantly again and again, and it's these stories which prevent us from seeing what is real and true, and not necessarily because we are perceiving things based on our likes or our dislikes. So, when we say that we are being deluded, it means that we are not able to see clearly. It means that we are having a fog in front of our eyes, and therefore we are not able to perceive what is real and true. And in order for us to become aware about our state of delusion, we need to constantly be in the practice of critical thinking and self-examining. So, life is a long journey of learning. Learning makes life interesting, it makes it fun, and in the path of self-realization, you discover things which otherwise are not known to you. The unknown becomes known, and in that process, you acquire a lot of knowledge, new skills, many interesting and good people you get to network with. And I invite you to take this journey along with me, to share your knowledge, to share your insights, and to create value in this world. Don't worry, be happy. May you be peaceful. Thank you.